All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. We're here at the House of Aligned on Stinson Beach. We're overlooking the ocean. Super excited for today's topic. We're going to be talking about AI and sales, and I know there's a lot of conversations going on right now around how AI can be used in sales, but today we're going to try to offer you some interesting perspectives, some tactical use cases so you can walk away and actually feel empowered to start using AI, or maybe not in certain instances. So I'm going to introduce myself first, and then we're going to introduce the guests here, and we're going to get started. My name is Mahrle. I'm the Director of Sales over at Mailshake. Amelia, you want to go ahead?
Yes, I am Amelia Taylor. I am a go-to-market strategist and a content creator here at the house. Awesome. Go on.
How's it going, y'all? My name's Zheng, otherwise known as the Sales Rapper, founder at salesrap.io. I am a content creator and I run an agency that specializes in B2B content, and we use a lot of AI in our process. Can't wait to dive in deeper today.
Woo!
Awesome. Yeah, and hi everyone. Galaga, CEO and co-founder of Aligned. Really excited we're all here.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good conversation because we've got four different interesting perspectives on how we see and use AI. So I want to start with you, Amelia, and then I want to go around. How are you currently using AI or thinking about it in your day-to-day job?
For me, it's idea generation. So
Okay.
I don't think anyone should ever solely rely on AI. I think it's a 70-30 or 80-20 kind of split to where it has to have that 20 or 30% human touch. But for idea generation, if it's going to be a LinkedIn post, absolutely, that's easy. If it's going to be starting from scratch, something that I can just come up with where I just put some prompts in, but mostly just ideas.
Gotcha. And I want to double click into that. So are you using like ChatGPT, for example? Are you going in and saying, hey, I want to write a LinkedIn post. Here's a general idea. And then you're asking it to help you get more specific examples?
I will use GPT for specific things when it's very generic.
Okay.
So for generalized things, yes. But when it comes to something that needs to be more hyper-personalized, I'm going to a tool. I'm going to something like Reggie.
Okay, cool. Dane, what about you? I know you got some interesting perspectives.
Absolutely, Jed. So I like to use AI, specifically generative AI, outside of a text context. I think in sales, most people see AI. They're like, how can they write my emails? How can we get copy and get our blogs written?
Yeah.
But I think one of the most powerful ways to use AI is to use it to generate images and to enhance videos. So one thing that I do is for graphic comms, right, to create custom images. Let's say there's a theme. I know the prospect has, let's say, raccoons as part of their branding, right? Then we could put raccoons in some custom imagery. you know who you are. And also for video selling too. I think not everyone is in a place where they can watch a video with the sound on. So with AI, you can now much more easily put captions on videos than you used to be able to. And you can also clean up audio from a poorly captured source with tools like Descript and Adobe podcast solutions, and have very crisp audio while you're video selling.
I like that you mentioned video. I'll kind of give a tip that folks who are doing video selling can use right now that we started doing a couple months ago with a tool called SendSpark. So it's an AI video tool. I think it's free to use too. You can go on and start a free trial.
Good one.
Yeah, for sure. And so what we started doing is, like, part of our software is we help with email deliverability. So one of the ways we were doing video prospecting is we'd analyze people's domains and then send them a video showing them, like, if they're on any blacklist or things that we notice. And that takes a lot of time, right? You have to go to each individual domain, send that video. But with SendSpark now, using AI and video, we can just upload all the links, record one video, and then it'll essentially just relay our face over all of these different screens. And so we can pump out these videos much faster. But the key piece to it too is that we didn't have this idea and then start using AI. We saw the results first by manually doing the videos. And I think that'll be a topic of today's discussion. Is we validated that the play worked first, and then we automated with AI, not the other way around, which is where I see a lot of people getting stuck.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's been a big one. But what about you, Gal?
Yeah, I think so. Everywhere, but specifically in sales, a few things. One, research. Okay, when we're going deep into accounts throughout the process, and initially, you can ask a lot of good questions to research. Of course, use the ones that are updated.
Yeah.
Not everything is up to date. Secondly, is to build messaging when you're going into accounts. third one is in business case building, actually.
Mhm.
So we'll go and
I like
take. So yeah, we created some prompts, and we're going and we're taking. We're very good at note taking. So we take a lot of the things that we've discussed throughout the call. We give ChatGPT like this is a framework. This is how we want the
Mhm.
business case to look like. Throwing a lot of this language in, and then it kind of drops something out.
Yeah.
And I think the fourth one is just email writing.
Yeah.
So we don't go fully, hey, personalize this email for me, but more like I know that the team is using Lavender and tools like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to kind of dive into the email writing side of things when it comes to AI, because I think that's the most popular use case that people started with. And Amelia, I want to start with you and your perspective, given your experience at Reggie. What is your perspective? Like, let's say you're a rep that's listening to this right now. You haven't used AI much. How do you see AI being used for email? Do you believe in kind of like the personalization or relevance debate? What's kind of your perspective on that, and how to go about starting to write better emails, with AI?
No, great question. There's such a reactive, just go, go, go. We've got to do what everybody else is doing feel to AI. Everybody's just like, let's just throw everything out there. Let's just jump in and do it. But nobody's training people how to actually utilize it in the very best way. So everything's so reactive. It's not proactive, because I think a lot of the coaches, the trainers, the managers, they don't know what they're doing either. So who's enabling the leaders to lead well and coach the right way, how to actually send something that's going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to get a response back, not just deliverability side, right? Because there's certain tools like Mailshake, right, that's going to ensure that. But there's tools like Reggie, for instance, where it's for salespeople, and then it's going to give you the relevant information that you need.
Yeah.
There's the personalization aspect, and then it's going to give you this manager whole, analysis where it breaks down in real time. So there's so many different factors like that you've got to focus on. Where does this make sense for me? Does it not make sense for me?
Yeah.
And if you're not being coached by the coaches that you have, or the trainers that you have, whoever it may be, your managers within, go ask somebody else who's using it and doing it really well, or you've received some really great email from them. Ask them what they're doing and how they're doing it. There's people inside your organization who can help you too.
Yeah. To kind of add some more thoughts too to the email writing side of things. The way I try to approach it is like when I'm coaching my reps, for example, is start like personalizing emails on your own. So getting slow, and then like slowly personalizing emails. Once you start figuring out responses, figure out what you are personalizing based on. And so do this for a few months where you're personalizing emails manually every day. Eventually you will find that what you're personalizing on falls into only a select few buckets. So it might be on like a recent job change or a promotion, or the industry they're in, or something you saw on the website, right? So just write down all these buckets. And then what you want to do is you want to figure out how to use AI to automate looking for each of those buckets. And that's kind of the way I would approach email writing. My favorite tool for this is Clay. They also have a free trial. You can go on and essentially input all these buckets that you're looking for, and it'll help you. It has ChatGPT integrated, so it'll help you kind of write these emails based on the buckets you're talking about. So that's a really big one, right? Start slow, see that it's working, and then automate from there.
Start slow. That's the key. So you don't have to go. Like, chill out, everybody, with the GPT. Like, can we chill? Can we just take it slow?
Yeah.
And see what works and what doesn't work. Like, not everything is going to work based off your use case and what your value prop is, who your ICP is. Like, figure all this out and make your messaging actually valuable to the person that you're sending it to. Like, it's crazy how many emails we probably all get that are the same exact thing, that we all like someone's post, and we all got the email saying, hey, saw you like so-and-so's post. And it's like, wow, that's so generic. I'm not responding to this. It ruins brands.
Yeah. Go, I want to hear from your perspective too, particularly as a founder, and like we're seeing every company putting AI into their product.
Yeah.
How do you think about putting AI into a line, for example, or the way you kind of think about that? And is it necessary for everybody to do? Is it necessary for every rep to use AI? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think at this point, AI used to be in the past, moat defense, something that you would build to build a fence. But right now, it's the standard that if you don't have it, you're you're basically behind. Both on this is what the audience just because of just because of buzz. Even I'm putting even actual value aside, just because it's so out there and everyone are talking about it. If you don't have an AI feature, then executives are going to say, hey, well, this one has AI and this one doesn't. Like, people are going to ask you these questions. So it's really a must-have from that perspective. Secondly, from a marketing point of view, competitors have it, you don't have it from that point of view. And then thirdly, right, it is, if you find a good use case, then, it is something that can drive a lot of value. So we specifically definitely are going in this quarter. Like next quarter, we're going to have some AI features going to be released. And there's a lot, like, room creation, the business case part that I was mentioning. It's something that we can automate. We're looking into automating even some of the buyer. So kind of a buyer can enter into a aligned room, ask questions, and the collateral that's in the room and information from the website can be used as a source of information. So there's some of the interesting direction. Yeah, because a lot of buyers want to self-serve. They don't want to speak with you. And if you so if you can facilitate that buyer enablement in that space using AI, it will increase the adoption of a product like Aligned, and you as a seller can get the behind the scenes data of what they're searching for, what they're looking at. Basically, there's some of the thoughts that we have.
Yeah, I mean, that's super interesting that you mentioned that too, because I think one thing that whenever we're having conversations around AI and sales, it's pretty much always top of funnel, at least in my experiences, around how you can write better emails. So I do want to dive a little bit deeper into that. What's your perspective on how folks can use AI more mid-funnel and bottom of funnel, since especially considering Aligned is like the tool for executing deals mid-funnel to bottom of funnel? Have you seen any use cases or examples where reps can start using AI more, like in the sales process as opposed to prospecting?
Yes, I think business case building that I mentioned for sure, and research thinking. So anything that's productivity, right? Any productivity work,
is a big thing. Of building that champion relationship, maybe. Would be a big thing.
And I think I heard of also a few people using it for all the presentation building tools. So you can even build custom decks today with AI. Like executive review, create some slides. I love the video concept. That's incredible. Like I shared a story earlier about a company where they did something very tailored.
For sure. So the concept of musical ABM, as I call it, and I think ABM is actually a very interesting. The hands.
I like that ABM.
ABM. ABM. Yes, I think ABM is a really underutilized area for AI. On one side with the actual asset or the campaign creation, right, and that's where we get into using AI to enhance the creative process and the creative outcomes, which might look like better video production using generated visual assets that are relevant to the prospect or the conversation at hand, and creating something that's more memorable, that stands out, and ultimately converts. And the other side of ABM too is beyond a generative AI capacity is how we're using AI from the machine learning standpoint to analyze data and then deliver custom output. So what that might look like is, there's a few AI tools on the market for landing pages. Okay. So like, let's say, you're targeting a specific company with an ABM campaign, and from the salesperson's perspective, if they're able to send out custom links, for example, and build custom landing pages using AI that auto-populates forms and areas of that landing page based on data from, like a data provider, let's say like 6 Sense, and add in information from the CRM, from the deal room, right? Then
from the CRM, that's a huge one.
Yeah, and then now you're creating something that's, rather than have the marketing team, or designers create custom ABM landing pages that might add a month of lead up time to your ABM campaign. If you're using AI, you can execute something like that in 2 or 3 days. So you're cutting the delta by a ton to deliver.
You got to train the marketers how to do that, though,
That's right?
It's
but it's still, I think it's still pertinent to sales.
100%. It's that's where both sides of the house, they got to talk, right?
Yeah.
Sales and marketing, they've got to talk when it comes to AI because they can both utilize it in such powerful ways. And the collateral that the sales team's using, that the marketing team's creating, it can be streamlined so fast and created if they know what they're doing with the right tools based off of what they're delivering. But then the sales team needs to know how to actually input that into their SCP tool or wherever their email, you know, however they're sitting, if it's their Gmail, Outlook, whatever it is that they use, but work together. There's got to be this stored place where they have all that information.
You know what I love about? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just I love that example about the video because I think one of the challenges we're seeing is that people are using AI to do the same thing or even less good than what they were doing manually, but just more of the
It's killing me.
more of the average or less than average, and then that's actually damaging the industry. And if you're going, and if right now this is giving us a way to maybe use the same amount of work but do something much more valuable, that like an AE to go and sit down and create some, captions for a video, that's crazy, right? Who would do that? But if you can go and take an AI to do that and add some creativity to that video, and that's the video that you send right now for your champion to go and spread across the organization to get some messages across. Whoa, that's creative, and that's like high value work that you wouldn't have done otherwise. So I think I'd love to see like more of that versus more of that versus just running after the let's automate from a spreadsheet a prompt that's gonna add personalization line. You've seen all of these, right? Like personalization lines in a spreadsheet, and then like let's just dump everything into an engagement automation sequencing platform.
The SCP tool,
And I think that's doing damage.
Yeah, I think maybe the key theme there is: are we using AI in a buyer enablement, buyer centric way, or are we using it in a very sales centric way? Like, let's try to reduce our headcount by scaling activity metrics using AI, right?
Yeah.
Bam, 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 volume, and then no one's happy about that, and the results aren't there. Whereas you take a more buyer-focused approach, you're using AI to create sales collateral, buyer enablement assets and content, and then now suddenly your champion has rather than let me forward this recap email. Check out this detailed video, and I love the example from Jed earlier. We're showing in the back end and doing the education.
I'm want to talk to you a little bit more about that, Ding, because I think what you said is right, Gal, that we're still kind of focusing on, it's a lot of the same type of email, the same type of processes. And instead of using AI to like scale that, we can use AI to do so many more powerful and creative things. And when you're like, even video still isn't as common, or like doing custom images, like the raccoon thing you were talking about, whatever, like that's unheard of. And I feel like that sort of stuff stands out in buyers' inboxes, and it's interesting. So can you maybe, I don't know, Ding, do you have more examples from some of your clients you work with at your agency of how you're using AI to do more creative content and things of that nature?
Yeah, for sure. So a big part of our process now is we'll work with the company and on an ABM basis. So we make custom creative music videos where we're shouting out in rhyme form, the identified key stakeholders on that deal, adding in context from CRM notes, pains, any challenges, problems that they're facing, handling objections through the creative side. And then one way we're using AI is, everyone knows from Mr. Beast, the most important thing with video is watch time and viewer retention. The challenge of sending a business themed video over is that it's often dry. It's often, especially if we're talking about pain, it's something, I don't want to sit there and watch a 2-minute video about how I'm sucking at my job right now. Right. So the more flair, the more over editing and visual activity that's going on in a video, the higher likelihood that your prospect's going to finish watching that video. And then, so that becomes very difficult prior to AI to do at scale. And one of the challenges that my agency used to have is we're spending a lot of resources and a lot of human man hours trying to create that editing style. When we're doing a campaign that's 25 accounts deep, right? To do that, that's a lot, right? And the issue is the before and after. What that looks like is, before, it might take us a month and a half, 50 days to do that whole campaign start to finish, right? Nowadays, we've replaced some of the manual human captioning and editing and splicing and B-roll with some AI assistance, and then now that's cut the time by maybe 70%.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's awesome.
one thing. How did you go about actually learning some of this AI stuff? Because I remember that's the hardest part. I heard about AI for like a year, as in sales, and this is probably like a year ago is when I started really getting into it, using ChatGPT and other tools. But there's like so many tools out there. There's so many different ways to go about doing it. So I guess this question is for all of you, but just if anybody wants to answer it, how would you, like, what sort of advice would you give to somebody who hasn't used AI before? And, would you recommend they dive in and start using it? Are there things they need to consider before they decide if they want to use AI? And how should they go about actually learning it? Like, what did you guys do?
I will jump in on this one. I found myself in the AI space, not even knowing a thing about AI, and I had to learn really quickly what people were even doing. And I was like, wow, everybody's just go with this, like I said before. So I'm like, all right, how do we slow this down? And like, how do I talk to people and actually help them understand not every tool is going to be for them. Like there's a use case. Like, what is your use case as to why you're using it? Asking the specific questions of, well, who are you trying to reach? Like, who is your buyer? What kind of message are you trying to send? And are you trying to add images? Are you trying to add text? Okay, is this for your marketing side? Are you trying to create the collateral for your sales team? Is it going to be one pagers? Is it going to be social posts that you're trying to use? So for instance, Jasper is the marketing AI tool. It 100% is. And then there's other tools. There's Lavender, which is great with the coaching and the analytics and understanding if this is a good email to send, where Reggie has the same thing, where you can do that. Then you've got to go and actually really play, but don't send. You can play around and you don't have to send yet, but try different tools. And then also go and ask the people who already know what they're doing. Like, go find those people in communities, wherever they may be. People are more inclined to help than people realize. And there's so much advice out there. Like, all advice can be heard. It doesn't have to be taken. So when you hear all this noise and you just think, I've got to do this because everyone else is doing it, sit down, think about it. Okay, who am I sending this to? What am I trying to convey? Would I respond to this is like a big question I always would ask myself. I'm like, okay, does this even, if I were to walk up to someone at a conference, would I say this specific thing to them? Is this way too aggressive and hyper personalized, or is this casual and normal? Great. Okay. This is a good one to send. And is it specifically geared towards that person? Is it like, CMO and a CRO? Two different messaging. Things that you're going to send. So you don't have to press send before playing around with all these tools. So test and figure it out.
Yeah. What about you, Danny? How did you kind of go about learning it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I was a bit early to AI. I was fortunate. I worked with some clients that were in the AI space before ChatGPT came out. So I got to experience, like, as the general public became aware of, like, the large language models and whatnot.
The exact concept, like the ChatGPT concept,
when it became
asking
boom,
questions
and everyone freaked.
Yeah. So when ChatGPT was still like non-public access, so I had
when OpenAI had the door shut, and then OpenAI decided to open their doors.
Yeah. So the first OpenAI product I used wasn't actually ChatGPT; it was Dolly, which was, now everyone uses Midjourney, but before Midjourney was popular, it was Dolly, and I think Google now has their own image generator, and then Adobe has Firefly. And Amelia made a great point. It's the communities. I think there's a lot of resources, a lot of dedicated content around AI that's available if you're someone that's interested in staying up to date. Something that's helped me specifically in terms of making sure my time is being well spent is there's a saying that AI is not going to replace humans. It's humans that use AI are going to replace humans that don't use AI. And I think a really good way to think about that is, go inwards and analyze your own workflow and work style. What are the most tedious things? What are the things that you don't like doing or that you would otherwise delegate? And then see if there's an AI solution for that. And I think the best thing you can do is is just test, just play around with things, right? And I think because there's just a way where the technology is at right now, I think it's pretty easy to see if something will work for you.
Yeah,
And I think
Yeah.
you just got to go out and try software.
I like that. Yeah, document your process from like start to finish.
Good point.
And yeah, go through like literally put it. That's what I did like probably 6 months ago when I started really getting into AI a lot more. Is like documenting the whole SDR workflow, for example, and seeing like what are areas where they're just wasting their time where we can actually automate this or do more. And if you are like an SDR or somebody who does a lot of prospecting, the number one person who I learned from, his name's Eric Nowoslawski. He's got a really good YouTube channel.
Amazing.
Like really just shows you everything you need to see. Really good stuff. But yeah, what about you? I mean, how did you kind of learn about AI and kind of get into some of it?
I think like all of these are really great points.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything to add. If I can
Sure.
really try to share how I see it, really from my perspective, is I would first kind of approach this from with a certain decision or with a certain goal in mind, that I'm gonna try to do something that's not gonna be teaching me how to do that thing.
Yeah.
Really, I'm not gonna use AI as a shortcut to do an email that I don't know how to write.
Please
Okay.
don't do that, people. Please
Yeah,
don't. Stop
exactly,
it. Don't
exactly.
stop.
Now, I think don't try to use AI right now. I'll repeat that, as a way to do something that you don't know how to do first.
Yeah.
Use it as a way to speed up a process. And if what you do doesn't work, don't use it as a way to speed up what doesn't work well, because that's just going to create more damage. So I think that first, and if you come with that kind of goal in mind, then I think you have a better chances at using something that works. And then the second thing, just to reiterate also what you shared, like find the creators, find the people that are writing about this a lot, and they're doing really good things. I think the creator economy, a lot of it just identified this trend.
Yeah.
Wow, everyone wants this content, so let's just do a lot of, hey, top AI, 10 AI tools, 10 AI tricks, 10 AI this, 10 AI that. And then what happened is that everyone are just trying things. Okay, yeah, let's try this, let's try that. I found this huge, like these great prompts here, and this guy shared these prompts, and this person, and then we're all running after that, like, blind, because
Blind
it's all the
leading.
hype, all the hype behind it, and people are just getting likes and getting impressions out of this. So I think I would try to find the ones that you really appreciate, the and in sales that write good content around this thing, and just go from there.
Yeah, I think my whole perspective on that and how I even approach LinkedIn is I don't use LinkedIn as a way to just necessarily find new ideas or things I need to do. Like what I do is I look internally first at my process. Like we said earlier, have it documented. I find the most painful parts of my process are the thing, like my reply rates are low. Let me go on LinkedIn. Let me go search for somebody, try to network to find a solution to that specific problem. It's like start with the problem or the friction point and then go. And that's how you get around all the confusion with all these different AI tools, all these different ChatGPT prompts. They're not all going to be relevant to you. Start with where you actually need to improve and then go out and find them.
Example real quick. Like, I mean, say I wanted to know, say we're in Sales Nav and I want the first degree connections that you have.
Yeah.
And I want to filter it down that way with a specific account list that I put in through a CSV, then I'm going to go, I've got my prospect or my persona already mapped in there. And then I can get all this list of all these target people, my exact ICP right there, go through it. Don't assume that they might be, on the board or something, right? So never make assumptions, but go and look through those people. And then it's going to be, all right, this person, great. These are all going to be, they're all sales directors.
Yep.
So your messaging is going to be tailored towards their pain. And then it's going to be not the same, because it could be they just had this awesome, their retreat, whatever they might have done. It might have been right here. I don't know. And you talk about how there's whales that I keep seeing out in the ocean, whatever it may be. And so, say that somebody posted something about that. Great.
Yeah.
Then there's things that you can put in for that specific individual. So it cannot be generic. I mean, if it's generic, your brand, your personal brand, you're ruining it. Your business, the company's brand, you're completely tainting that too. I mean, think about the brand overall. Like, where do you want to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Like, do you want to be having a really solid brand or not? Because AI is going to absolutely change that if you utilize it in a slower way to actually get the results you want, or if you're going to go.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. I want to do real quick. I want to go around in one sentence. What is like your top takeaway from today's conversation around AI? And then we'll wrap it up.
I want to be like Zheng and learn Midjourney. And Drew Bruckner over at Lasso, go check out his Midjourney stuff. It is amazing.
Right.
You should. Popcorn.
Yes. Document your process. Don't
Yes.
go out and try every tool. Make sure that you're spending your time wisely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love the video.
You love the video.
The video. I just love that.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Top takeaway would be, I mean, Dean kind of stole mine.
Dean!
That's all good. No, I mean, I think my top takeaway is, try different tools based on, like, figure out where your process is the weakest, and then, try different tools, learn AI from there, and go find a creator that you really trust. Try to get on their good side, try to learn from them. In my case, it was Eric Noslowski. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you can go and check out the link. It should be, if you're watching this on LinkedIn Live, you should be able to see the link to sign up for Align and get the special offer with additional free rooms. So check that out. And again, thanks for watching. Hope you found some valuable insights.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye, everyone.